Hello everyone, it's your host SethTheProgrammer, and today we're going to be discussing the Otsutsuki and how they rank compared to each other in terms of combat. I thought this would be a fun video considering now that we have some more feats for Urashiki, and we recently learned of the new and powerful Isshiki Otsutsuki in the Boruto manga and can actually somewhat scale him as well. As always, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button, and if you've seen me before, maybe this isn't your first rodeo, consider subscribing as well, as I'd really appreciate it. Now today we did get sponsored, and the sponsor has come around before, so that sponsor is... Today's sponsor is the game that has been taking YouTube and mobile gaming by storm, Raid Shadow Legends. These wonderful folks have once again sponsored my channel, which, as you know, helps out a tremendous bit, so please give this game a download, which the link can be found in the description below. I mean, come on, 10 million have already downloaded it in less than 6 months, so surely you'd reckon that there must be something pretty good going on here. Well, you'd be correct in assuming so, with tons of content from collecting champions, partaking in any of the 16 factions, explore the diverse champion builds, discovering locations, playing with friends and clans, and of course, PvP. Now, what is even wilder is the fact this game is free, $0. That's right, free. You get tons of content and amazing graphics with stupefying detail, which, by the way, you can customize and choose the artifacts and design a unique mastery build for each champion. Now, clearly from my tone of voice and what I'm saying, you could gauge that I am indeed a fan of this extravagant game. However, don't take just my word for it. Check out the 300k plus reviews that culminate with a 4+ star rating. Nearly perfect. That's absolutely bonkers. The game is growing at an astonishing rate and has this pretty cool mode, Faction Wars, coming out soon. As you would guess, there's a new rewards program for new players who will get a daily login reward for the first 90 days. Go to the video description, click on the special links, and if you are a new player, you'll get 100,000 silver plus 1 free champion, the Hex Weaver. All this treasure will be waiting for you here. Good luck, and I'll see you there. Anyway, back to the video. The honorable mentions for this video will include Indra and Ashura, simply because we don't see enough of them or know exactly how well they scale to each other by the time they reach their primes, as it's somewhat implied that HAGOROMO amped Ashura after Ashura had already trained extremely hard to reach Indra's level. It's also unsure exactly how much power HAGOROMO gave Ashura. An example, would he just give Ashura a similar amp that he gave Naruto, or would he give him all of his chakra in reserve instead, since he doesn't have to split it between two people? I'll give a hypothetical could be here sort of thing when we actually get to where he could be, but otherwise all we fully do know is that he is above Indra. Also know Sasuke naming a technique after Indra does not mean Indra can A, use that technique, or B, use it as powerful as a HAGOROMO and Bijou amped Sasuke. Now onto the actual list. Number 7 is Toneri. Now, Toneri is a pretty good base for the list, and while he may be at the bottom of the list, that does not mean in any way that he is weak. Toneri with the Tensaigon threatened to hurl the entire moon at the earth and destroy it. And by the time Naruto defeats him with a single punch, Toneri starts freaking out and absorbing massive amounts of chakra from Naruto and his surroundings, which gives him the power of Hamura that can move the moon, quote unquote. However, Kurama sends the Otsutsuki golem through the moon and crashing into him from under its crust and stops him. Toneri, of course, isn't a high-tier Otsutsuki and is surprised that Naruto at full power can one-shot him. Toneri's only real saving grace is that on the box set it states that he has a chakra similar to Kaguya. However, whether this is saying he's an Otsutsuki or actually is as powerful as her is too ambiguous, and Naruto doesn't even bother mentioning something that they would find so pivotal about the other Otsutsuki as adults, since they try using the fact Kaguya was scared of them as a threat to the Kage. The fact he doesn't even use 6 paths and uses his basic Bijou Sage mode is also extremely telling, since in the Boruto novels, it's confirmed Naruto still has it and can use Bijou amps like he did against Kaguya. He also does this against Delta. Toneri could be higher if you take this statement to its utmost limits, but otherwise it's just not very consistent with Naruto's reactions, nor does Toneri have the feats to realistically be on the level of Kaguya. Following Toneri, we get number 6, Hamura. Hamura is impressive because he was able to battle against Kaguya for allegedly many months if you use the anime alongside HAGOROMO. Toneri also thinking that absorbing tons of Naruto's chakra and activating the Tensaigon gives him a Hamura-like power that can throw the moon around. It's blatantly clear that even though we don't know a whole ton about him, that he should more than likely still scale above Toneri. And also, if the Toneri is relative to Kaguya thing is wanked in here again, then Hamura would more than likely scale above Kaguya in his prime. However, like I said, this statement is probably talking about Toneri being an Otsutsuki and having Otsutsuki-like chakra instead of having chakra on par with Kaguya. This is also supported throughout the series as well, considering that the Nine Tails has sinister or foul chakra in the words of Zabuza, how there's like Genjutsu type chakras, or there's Hashirama's chakra, or there could be Six Paths chakras. It's very consistent that this could be its own type of chakra to be Otsutsuki-like. Now, following that, number 5 and number 4 are pretty contentious, and it depends on how you interpret things, so I am going to leave this a little bit more in the subjective territory, so don't get too salty about this, but number 5 through 4 is Kaguya and Kinshiki. Now, Kaguya versus the Momoshiki gang is always a contentious topic. However, we already know that many, including Sasuke, are convinced that Kaguya was scared of the Otsutsuki. Usually this is very vague and people think that she's scared of the entire clan, which is probably true. However, it's more than likely she is scared of Kinshiki, Momoshiki, and Urashiki, as that's who she personally imagined when she talks of the clan only caring about power and coming to Earth. Kaguya is also able to destroy massive time spaces that have planets, moons, and even stars residing within them with her expansive truth-seeking orb. Kinshiki's only lore is that he can split planets apart easily with his power. However, he should also scale somewhat to fatigued adult Sasuke, who could later on take on Fusion Momoshiki. Kinshiki is also a character who has gone around space and time, with Momoshiki absorbing and consuming many chakra fruits, with Kinshiki raising Momoshiki into who he is today, apparently. Kaguya being a character that has only allegedly eaten one fruit of the divine tree, whereas Kinshiki and Momoshiki have more than likely eaten numerous of these fruits, as well as potentially predecessor Otsutsuki. As it's implied, Momoshiki consuming Kinshiki was almost like a tradition to be passed down. Urashiki has also been watching the Earth for quite some time and also believes Kaguya was scared of them even after she consumed the divine fruit on Earth. Now, if you interpret adult Sasuke and Naruto as not having Six Paths chakra, then this list does drastically change and Kaguya does become a lot higher, as well as if you believe that she should be Hamura plus Hagoromo in their primes on top of her and all other kinds of nonsense. But there's a lot of ways to interpret it. However, we do know that adult Naruto still does have Six Paths more than likely. He was shown flying in the Boruto anime after a train. He can still use his Lava Rasen Shuriken. There's many things implying that they still have Six Paths, and Sasuke's Rinnegan abilities have only amplified since he was younger. So while I do believe having this Kaguya greater than adult Naruto and Sasuke thing is probably not very consistent with her own stories, it is a possibility if you do think that adult Naruto and Sasuke aren't as powerful as they were as teenagers, and maybe Hagoromo's chakra completely disappeared and it didn't amp their bodies permanently or something, which is also possible. But it's also possible that they did train and they did master their abilities more since, say, like the last or something like that, as obviously much time has gone by. But I will leave that up to you. If you think Kaguya should be much higher, I'll give that to you. Now, number 3 is Urashiki. I think it's important when talking about Urashiki that we go over his character. There's like a lot of misconceptions around him, and a lot of people are kind of salty, actually. For one, Urashiki's respect for Momoshiki is simply a facade he puts on while he's in front of him, and even resorts to calling him Momo-chan behind his back to imply he might actually look down on him. We also know that Urashiki, despite being in clear position to, doesn't tend or try to actually kill people. Rather, he just steals their chakra and runs off with it to fulfill his secret ambitions. He's also interesting because he's able to fight off Boruto-era Kage opponents without even using his Rinnegan, the same Kage that could face Kinshiki and base Momoshiki, and he could easily escape them with his Tomode Rinnegan. With this dual Tomode Rinnegan power-up, he's also able to instantaneously yank away almost all of 3 Tomo Sharingan / Rinnegan Sasuke's chakra with just his chakra pull, whereas it took Momoshiki more than likely hours to just take away over a little half of base Naruto's with his Rinnegan. Now, you could simply say that Naruto has more chakra, which is more than likely true. However, it's still interesting that Urashiki could have easily destroyed Sasuke in this confrontation in almost one single move. Sasuke even tries coming back later, and Urashiki tells him it's completely useless to try fighting him, as Sasuke hasn't even remotely recovered. Once again, Urashiki is just letting everyone go all the time, so him not killing anybody is part of his secret motive. This would also explain why Naruto told Boruto he couldn't try to find Urashiki, but he'd allow other genin to try, as Urashiki was only stealing chakra, but might have a grudge against Boruto for catching him by surprise and genuinely trying to hurt him. Not only this, but Urashiki has another level beyond his Tomode Rinnegan, which features a mysterious blue Rinnegan that can instantly blitz away from Sasuke again. Urashiki being able to so casually nerf and possibly defeat Sasuke when he's not giving his full attention is pretty telling, considering even Fusion Momoshiki, while not fighting Naruto and Sasuke at their full power, Naruto being hinted at being at half if not a little more after recovering somewhat. As I said before, Urashiki also steals abilities from those he yanks chakra from, and can even learn things like Mirai's Genjutsu that could trick a massive platoon of the Leaf Shinobi and so forth. Who knows what he could actually do with Sasuke's chakra that he stole if he consumed it. If you do actually think he consumed Sasuke's chakra, him being higher on this list is even more justified. Momoshiki is an interesting character in general. Now, while base Momoshiki is more than likely weaker than full power Blue Rinnegan Urashiki, Fusion Momoshiki is more than likely a different story. Now, it may be possible that Urashiki at full power might be stronger than Fusion Momoshiki, but for the time being, we've only seen Urashiki beat Sasuke when he also wasn't at full power or even using his EMS that he activates when he's going all out. Momoshiki, despite knowing the exact chakra parameters of the earth, also feels as though he could easily demolish and walk all over everything, even knowing that Kaguya consumed a fruit from it. It's also even more crazy when you consider that Kaguya feared the three of the Otsutsuki, Kinshiki, Urashiki, and Momoshiki in their base states, from what we can tell, with Fusion Momoshiki being able to easily one-shot Kinshiki or his base form self, as shown when he one-shots all the Kage who gave him trouble before transforming. It may be possible that she may have also been scared of a three-way fusion between Kinshiki, Momoshiki, and Urashiki. However, as I said before, the lore mainly points to Momo being the most notoriously powerful from the Otsutsuki's perspective, and he's done what Kaguya has done with Divine Trees numerous times. Although Urashiki probably secretly thinks Momo is beneath him, he also possesses the ability to absorb power from a parallel dimension in the novels, which features their own redshift nebulas in a possible universe. Redshift nebulas usually imply a rate of expansion, an example a universe, and Momoshiki has the ability to absorb massive amounts of chakra from this, and possibly the ability to dismantle and turn other Otsutsuki into fruits that he can consume at will. Number 1. Isshiki Otsutsuki. Now, if you're caught up with Boruto, then you more than likely absolutely understand why Isshiki is number 1. Spoilers, Jigen is actually a vessel for Isshiki, and when Isshiki uses Jigen's body, he can easily demolish full power Hokage Naruto and post-teleportation Sasuke in almost singular hits, and through their Kurama avatar and Susanoo states. It's also implied by other Kara members that even if Sasuke was to help Naruto against Jigen, it probably would not change anything and it would be a stomp regardless. This already places him above Fusion Momoshiki, who is struggling with the same duo in much weaker states, while also amping himself with Naruto's chakra, and with them having less fighting experience in prep. Not only that, but Isshiki was actually nerfed by Jigen's body, who was crying and shattering from Isshiki even using it, disappointing Isshiki for him being such an unworthy vessel of his abilities. Ishiki's abilities, by the way, the one he uses in this case is the ability to turn so small so quickly that Naruto can't even tell where or what he's doing and gets outplayed. Isshiki also instantly BFRs or removes from the battlefield and seals Naruto when they first began their battle before even using his full abilities, and had to be saved by Sasuke. Sasuke then almost getting murdered and Naruto getting sealed away anyway. They get so destroyed that even Kurama tells Naruto, stop messing with this guy and to leave him alone, despite everything and everyone Naruto has fought before, and how much Kurama loves Naruto for never giving up, even in life or death situations. Kurama says, stop. Now, that is the list, and as I said before, some people could be higher or lower depending on certain things. Kaguya could be higher or lower. I don't really want to debate on whether or not Momoshiki can beat Kaguya. That is a natural consequence of this video. I'm actually curious, if you guys do think Kaguya is stronger, where would you put her? Would you put her above Isshiki, who can one-shot Naruto and Sasuke? Where exactly do you guys think Prime Kaguya would go if the 6 paths Naruto and Sasuke thing doesn't add up to you? Also, for Ashura should be below Prime Kaguya. That's pretty obvious, and probably more around Hamura's level. And as a bonus, though, we're going to be doing post-death Hagoromo. So not the one that's alive, post-death. Because after he dies, he actually gets a power-up in a weird way. So Hagoromo is a weird one, which is why I'm choosing to leave him here at the end and leave his placement up to you, the viewer. Hagoromo has many of the same powers as the other Otsutsuki, like the true-seeing orbs, the powers of the Rinnegan, and for one, all of his jutsu are said to be descending directly from Hagoromo himself, and he should be capable of using any jutsu, at least according to Ibiki, although who knows how accurate that is. His seemingly unique sun and moon six-path Chibaku Tensei was powerful enough to seal Kaguya away on 2 different occasions, despite the clear difference in power of the casters. He should also be capable of utilizing both the Izanami and Izanagi infinitely without losing his vision, as they are simply derivatives of his creation of all things jutsu, according to Obito. Hagoromo should also have more than likely be able to use the Tsukuyomi too, as he has the power of the 10 tails and 6 paths, as well as an advanced Rinnegan that potentially evolved Tomo's in a similar way to Sasuke's, with characters like Madara being able to use the Tsukuyomi by linking to the Geto Mazo in his old age. However, Hagoromo's real strength comes from his death, as I said earlier, and Hagoromo seems to have some kind of power derived from the state of death itself. Despite actually being dead and residing in the Pure Lands, Hagoromo continues to travel throughout time as a being of pure chakra. He journeys to every transmigration, seemingly giving away all of his powers every time with absolutely no repercussions at all. And to add the weirdness, when he first appears in the story, he's talking to both Naruto and Sasuke simultaneously existing in 2 different places at the same time. These things themselves make Hagoromo an exceptionally powerful opponent, and not only is he essentially already dead, but he can seem to replenish all of his powers as a result of some weird interaction with the Pure Lands, a realm that is likely beyond time itself. We see Obito do a similar thing when he gives his Mangekyo powers to Kakashi temporarily during the fight with Kaguya. This power seems to extend to other such beings as well, such as when he's able to summon all of the Kage, or the past Go-Kage from the afterlife, to aid in re-summoning Naruto, Sasuke, and Team 7 back from Kaguya's dimension. Defeating Hagoromo is really almost a nigh impossible task, as his infinite use of Izanagi would allow him to undo any real harm to himself, and even if you're able to somehow bypass that, you would still need something that could actually affect an already dead being made of chakra. There's also the possibility that even after defeating Hagoromo, you could simply find yourself facing another Hagoromo as come from the Pure Land, or even the past or the future, leaving to the monstrous task of having to defeat Hagoromo throughout all of time. I feel like it wouldn't be unreasonable to put Hagoromo high on the list, but I wanted to leave it up to you guys, as I said earlier. Of course, Hagoromo traveling throughout time could have a different interpretation. You could just simply say that he's just waiting throughout time, and that's like his traveling through time in like a more mundane sense. However, I mean, if you really take the statement to its utmost, it would be pretty broken. Anyways, guys, that's the list. Once again, let me know what you think of Hagoromo down below, and if you enjoyed it, consider hitting that like and subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. And other than that, have a great rest of your day. Until next time.